kind of returned to Austria and started a political movement. That's where we met. And you were introducing a lot of similar ideas, which are so common sense and which are so great, but you got a lot of resistance, and the media treated you incredibly badly. The system treated you badly. The same is now happening in Canada since you started the Economic Charter of Rights. Number one, why do you think there's such resistance? And number two, I'm really always amazed at how calm you stay when people attack you and they're running bad attacks against you, but you never scoop to that level. You always stay above it. How do you do that?
I waited till I came forward with Economic Charter of Rights, right? And I wrote a column for a number of years in the Financial Post in Canada. But when I started to, because what you usually read in papers is the problem, but never solutions. It's the system we have to change. Our politicians are trapped in the systems, because the politics is whoever brings forward something new, any politician or a party, they won't win because you could criticize them. So this is the problem. Politics, government can't fix things. It needs a coalition of what I would call concerned Canadians, where you could leave the program relative short, that you could combine. This is what we need to get the economy going. The Achilles heel is that the bureaucracy creeps up slowly. So every year you have maybe 2 or 3% more bureaucracy, right? So if it's 10 years, you got the bureaucracy has climbed, I would say, the last 50 years, at least 500%.
We speak about children and families. I've been completely and utterly speechless with the growing number of everyday Canadian families confronted by a very daunting truth and reality that things are getting harder, that as they look out into the horizon, the future for their children and their children's children, they don't see the same Canada that I grew up in. They don't see the same Canada that you built billions of dollars in revenues, tens of thousands of jobs from, an industry second to none. It's not the same Canada as it used to be. And it's scary, Frank.
It's frightening what will happen over the next 5-10 years. We don't make things anymore. When you see factories, the factories are all warehouses. We don't make things. And when a country doesn't make things, they got to import everything. That is where the economy breaks down, and where there's no jobs, where people go hungry. That's the frustrating part, right? Okay, and this is where a lot of money is wasted. So a typical example, about a month and a half ago, when the federal government and the provincial government got together and say, we want to make it easy for people to buy a house. We're going to pay for the development charges, okay? Why? How come the development charges are so high? So the governments, what did they do in there, right? Because they make a big thing to get elected, and then they got to borrow money or print monies, right, to pay for
which is even worse.
To pay for the development charges, right? So it's left and right. It's we gotta reduce the bureaucracy. We gotta see maybe one term would be enough for politicians to be in parliament, and then they should go out and work with the rules and regulations they developed in parliament and see how difficult it is or how little common sense those rules make.
One of the advantages to the capitalist system is that large, unwieldy enterprises that no longer function get killed by the market and disappear. Do you have any sense of how it might be possible to clear out some of the regulations that are impeding entrepreneurial development? And have you had any success in talking to politicians, let's say in Canada, about how some of that house cleaning might occur?
The politicians can't do it. I could give you many reasons, or maybe some other times we have a little more time. But and again, I want to point out, no chainsaw approach. It's not the fault of the bureaucrats, it's the fault of the system. But one civilized way would be not to rehire till they reach a certain status, right? So basically, I want to tell small business, you're the backbone. You have kids.
You want to
Think about-
remind them.
I want to remind them. I want to wake them up and say, look, you got kids. There's a little future if we leave it the way things are, right? We got to wake them up and say, look, you're really the builders. You're the backbone of the country. You should not be paying a business tax, right? Because usually when you want to bring a change, people will ask them, how does that affect me? What's in for me, right? So basically I'm saying, you're running a small business, there should be no business tax because you want to grow, be of a larger business. And to grow, that means you got to hire employees.